drummers, musicians, music aficionados. Welcome to Tim Connolly Drums. And as you can see, I have a very special guest with me today. Yes, all the way from Auckland, New Zealand, Andrew Rooney, ladies and gentlemen, of Andrew Rooney Drums. Andrew,
Hey,
how
what's
are
up,
you?
Tim? Yeah, going good, man.
Great, great. I'm super excited to talk to you tonight, and I'm sure my viewers and your viewers are always interested to hear different things that you have to
I
say. And
hope
it's
so.
it's always fun to talk to fellow drummers. The amazing part about technology, I'm in Canada, you're in New Zealand, but we can talk like we're right beside each other, which we kind of are actually.
It's yeah, absolutely. It's amazing, man. So I mean, yeah, it is 12:30 p.m. on the 1st of December here. So I
Okay.
mean, that's how far away we are from each other.
Right, 6:30 here in
Yeah, yeah,
Ontario,
incredible.
Canada. Yeah. So what I'm going to do, Andrew, is I got some questions here for you, and we'll just go from there. All
Bring it
right.
on.
So, how did it all begin for you in YouTube? What motivated you to get started doing what you do on YouTube?
Yeah, man. So my channel started in 2013, so it's been around for quite a while. It started just for me as a drummer and a drum teacher, just putting up my own videos. They weren't entertaining at all. Just even a lot of practice videos, just literally just me practicing. So if you go back on my channel, you'll find all that kind of stuff. And then we had a thing called COVID. I don't know if you guys had it in Canada or if you've heard of it.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we had the mighty COVID, and man, I lost my job. I lost my playing job.
Me
So I mean,
too.
I play and teach, and it was 50-50 income wise. So I lost basically 50% of my income overnight.
Yeah.
And basically I found myself with a lot more time. And I had a lot of friends on social media, Facebook, and everything. And I saw people were freaking out. Like it felt like the world was coming to a bit of an end. So yeah, long story short, I started doing this thing called Coffee with Rooney, by the way, having some coffee,
Yeah.
life. And that was literally me in my kitchen here, making a coffee as I would normally catch up with people for coffee dates anyway. And just say, everything's all right, let's keep communicating and talking. And I was just, make stupid dad jokes and everything. And then I thought, hey, this is quite enjoyable. It's quite fun. Bit of positivity in a pretty dark time. And then I don't know, had this crazy idea. I think I probably saw someone like Garrett Miller or Junk Drummer, our friend Steve. And I thought, man, I'll try that. I wasn't like an original or, I wasn't like the first guy to do it or anything. And it was just fun, man. And created this community and people jumping in, and it was just been beautiful.
Yeah, yeah, I totally understand. A similar thing happened to me. I would say Steve Junk Drummer was the very first drum reactor.
Mm,
But before Steve, I saw like people reacting to what they claimed bands they'd never heard of.
mm.
Which I suspected was not necessarily true. Because some of the like singer reacts to Metallica first time ever hearing them. And I'm thinking, really? This is the first time
Mm.
you've ever heard Metallica? I got a little suspicious. So at first I kind of poo-pooed the
Mm.
whole thing. But then I saw Steve, and he's so entertaining. I could listen to
Yes,
that guy talk all day. I do some
me
crazy
too.
things. I'll put him on and just listen to him and not even watch him necessarily. I'm doing
Mm.
things around the house and I'm just listening to him. He's very
Yeah,
entertaining, and he was the guy that motivated me.
yeah, and I think you've hit on something really good, man. I think you can spot transparency. So, Steve is he's just talking. He's not
Right.
trying to impress you or trying to win you over as a fan or, um, not offend you or he's just being himself.
He's just being himself. There's no script, and I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. And I agreed with a lot of the stuff that he was saying, because I have a lot of similarities with him, you know? And so that similarity element, even though we're from different countries, drew me into him. Now, that leads me to you. I saw you through Steve. I have to admit, Steve was the one that he didn't tell me about you, but through watching Steve, other drum reactors came up, and
the algorithm,
right? And you were one of them, right? So, one thing that happened to Steve that I wanted to ask you about, that this has happened to you. Has any of the drummers that you reacted to ever contacted you in any form?
Yeah, heaps of them.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Can you tell us about that?
Well, in terms of like commenting on the videos, there's been heaps. So even some of the big names, like I did a video that went quite well on Jonathan Sugarfoot Moffat.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, the Michael Jackson,
I love him.
Michael Jackson drummer.
Yeah,
incredible. And he commented, and he's very, very gracious, nice comment. He said, "Man, you made me laugh," and that's amazing comment. And of course, I pinned that sucker to the top of the comments. And it's happened a lot. I've had people, repost my videos.
The actual drummer.
Artist.
Wow. That's fantastic.
And it's it makes me very nervous, to be honest, because I don't know how you do things or how Steve does things, but honestly, my videos, what you see, that's all I've recorded. It's not like I've had 4 goes at it and I've prepared what I'm going to say.
Right.
That is it. That's literally, if the video's 9 minutes long, I've recorded probably 9 minutes 30.
Yeah, I do the exact same, and I know Steve does the exact same because we talked about it. Basically, what I try to do it in one take. The only time I've had to do it in more than one take is if it screws up somehow. Something happens where the video goes wrong. My daughter comes screaming into the room, or
but that's good. You should embrace that.
That sort of thing. Otherwise, to me, a reaction video has to be true, even though
it has to be.
Right. You may have seen this video before, but this is your real reaction. Otherwise, it's just bullshit. It's all fake.
I can honestly tell you from the bottom of my heart, all of mine are first-time watchers. If it's not, I will say at the start. So there's been a couple where it wasn't somebody requesting a video. It was me showing you one of my favorite videos. An example is Jeff Porcaro. He's my favorite drummer of all time. So one of my early videos was me showing you a video. So I said, "Hey, I have seen this, just to let you know, but I want to share it." But I have been accused, not a lot, I've been accused angrily. "There's no way you haven't seen that video before," pitchforks and everything. And it's like, well, I'm not lying. Like, I don't have anything to gain from lying about that.
Yeah.
I don't sit around watching YouTube videos all day. I can't watch them all.
Well, that leads me to my next question. If you can remember, I'm kind of putting you on the spot here. Can you remember any funny comments that you received, or even angry comments that you received that made you laugh, that you just went, "I can't believe this. This guy is intense." Like, Steve, I keep going back to Steve, I apologize, but Steve put out 2 or 3 videos talking about hate comments. Those were classics.
Those were so good. I desperately wanted to copy him on that.
Yes, and me
too. This is so brilliant that I want to copy it, but I don't want to copy it out of respect.
Yes,
it's such a good idea.
It is a great idea.
He wouldn't care.
No,
the way he does it is different to the way you do it and the way I do it anyway.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, man, there is a comment section, as you know, in your analytics. So you get all your comments and you can reply to them or block them if you need to. But then there is held for review.
Yes.
But did you know there's another folder? And what is it called here? Now this is for the really crazy people.
What do you mean another photo?
Another folder.
Oh, folder. Sorry.
Damn my Kiwi accent. So I'm going to go to my comments here just so I get this right.
Okay.
So there's just general comments, which are obviously are normally quite nice.
Yeah.
Or just talking about what you're doing.
Yeah.
Then there's held for review. Okay. Sometimes those are spam. Sometimes they might have a swear word or whatever. So they've been held by YouTube. Now, if you scroll down, a lot of people don't know about this. There is a section right at the bottom that says comments that may be offensive have been hidden. And then you get an option to show hidden comments.
Oh, I have not seen that.
There you go. I didn't know about it either. And boy.
Was it full?
Well, it wasn't full, but that was an eye-opener.
I was just going to say that must have been an eye-opener seeing some of those, because you didn't realize they were.
So these are so bad, they're not even held for review.
Oh, they go right to the junk pile. So and, only man, you can see them, though.
Oh yes, yeah.
So you can preview them, and then decide.
Now I would not make a video out of those because they are really, they're either extremely offensive or they're just, and I'm not, this might not be the right way to put it, but there's actually a bit of mental illness in there.
Right. So this isn't all comical by any means. Like there's
no. This is like you are the worst person in the world, and I'm going to kill you. Kind of stuff.
Oh, that's really
anyway,
bad.
I've gone dark, but I'm trying to think of a funny comment for you. There's just been so many. They're daily.
Yeah. Of course. How do you get through them all? Because I know you're I don't know if you realize it or not. I'm sure you do. You're one of the top drum reactors on YouTube. There's not too many guys that are bigger than you.
Yeah, that makes me quite nervous because there's guys like you around. There's Jason Sayers, there's Steve, Garrett Miller. There's all kinds of people, but they've all got their own take.
Yeah. Everybody does it a little differently. You're right.
Yeah, but I do try and answer as many comments as possible.
That's good.
And I do it daily. I actually do a comment reply that I sit down, grab a coffee, and just reply to as many as I can.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's hard to do because I know you get a lot, especially in the live feeds and stuff when you're doing the live streams.
Absolutely. Well, here we go. This is a good example for you of a funny situation where I reply to so many comments that some people get offended because I haven't replied.
Right.
So then you really can't win because I can't literally reply to all of them because I do have a life. I've got to do stuff and I've got a family, so I can't just sit here all day doing it. But one guy was on the live feed too, and he just said, "Why do you keep skipping my comment?" And because it's live, I actually responded in the moment. Oh, hey, I don't mean any offense. I mean, this is doing my best, man.
Right.
And he started just
live.
Like it was a vendetta against him that I wasn't replying. And it just goes to show you cannot please everybody, man.
Yeah. Oh no, God, no. Don't even try to do that. Now, to a happier thing, not just about drumming. Who are the YouTubers that you like? Doesn't have to be necessarily drumming. Who are some of your YouTubers that you actually go out of your way to tune into?
Well, this is probably going to shock anybody who's watching, but right at the moment, I'm watching this guy called Luxury Travel Expert. I think it is Luxury Travel Expert.
Okay.
And obviously I need a holiday because all this guy does is he just goes to like luxury resorts and just films them on his phone.
Right. Yeah.
And that's it. And it's like might be an hour. And my God, I'm obsessed. I just sit there with my practice pad, doing my,
Yeah.
workouts and just drooling over the Maldives or the Tahiti or whatever. And so I think
Wherever
what
he
this
is.
is I need a holiday.
That could be. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's random, man. I'm a bit of a nerd with film, so I
Okay.
love specifically horror films. I
Oh,
do watch it.
that's my thing.
Oh, that's my jam. And I watch a lot of film location videos.
Wow. Okay.
And
Okay.
I gotta tell you, Tim, I'm also incredibly humbled every time I watch one of those type of videos. And it might be a channel I really love. One of them is called, I think, 80s Life.
Okay. I'm not
The
familiar with it, but okay.
the host is just very entertaining. And he'll go to visit all these film locations, not specifically horror. It might be Chips. Remember Chips,
Yep.
motorbike cop show from the
Motorbike
80s?
cops. Yep.
Um, and all kinds of stuff. And I'm just obsessed, man.
Wow.
Every time he releases a video, I've got to watch it. But he's just very entertaining, and I've got a lot of nostalgia for the 80s. So
Yeah. 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 I love the
I'm all
80s.
over the show, man. I'm all over the show with
Wow.
YouTube.
Now, in terms of drummers, what
Mm.
drummers do you like to check out? Whether it be guys that do the same
Channels or
thing as
just
you,
drummers?
like channels, specific YouTubers. Are there any
I do,
drum, like Steve, for example?
yeah. We're talking a lot about this is a Steve Love Fest, isn't it?
Sorry, I love
um,
Steve. I do
we
love
love you,
Steve.
Steve. We love you, man. I think I don't keep up with them as much as I should. But every time I watch one of his videos, I think, why don't I watch this every day? It's just so good. I enjoy a bit of Rick Beato.
Mm-hmm. Yep, yep.
You can get a little bit if you watch someone for too long, it can get a little bit much. So I switch it up constantly. Produce like a pro. I watch a bit of engineering stuff. So sorry to answer your question about drummers. I got to tell you, this might be another weird thing about me. I watch a lot of non-music stuff when I'm not teaching and playing.
Yeah, yeah, I get it. I totally understand.
Um,
Yeah.
I interviewed Adam Tuminaro a while back, the Orlando drummer,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and he was the same. He said, "Hey, I do audiobooks, podcasts, but music is music, and that's I wouldn't call it work, but I do that a lot anyway. So when I've got a bit of downtime, hey man, I switch off, put on a good audiobook, put on a podcast, or put on a travel show."
Yeah, no, I totally get that. So I
Yeah, yeah.
want one thing I really actually did want to ask you about, because I really want to get your take on this because I know that we all deal with this as YouTubers. How do you deal with the copyright situation when you pull up, you do Bonham or Neil Peart from Rush and you show a Rush tune. So the tune is up there
Mm.
and you're at risk for the copyright claim. How do you deal with all those copyrights?
Um, I don't I don't do anything, to be honest. I think if it's blocked, it's blocked. So that's another step up again,
But does that factor
blocked.
into when you're thinking about, okay, who am I going to react to today? So I'm going to react to Ginger
Oh,
Baker of Cream. Does that, oh, but I might get blocked. I might get a
oh,
copyright claim. So I'm not going to do
okay.
it. Does that factor
I
in?
gotcha. I gotcha. Um, it yes. Yes.
Okay.
So sometimes people will request, for example, Led Zeppelin, they're quite big blockers. And I'll tell them, hey, this might not happen. It's probably going to get blocked. But I haven't been a heck of a lot. I've done a lot of videos at this point, and I think I've got about 450 videos just in my reaction playlist.
Wow, that is
So
huge.
that's a lot, man.
That is a
And
lot. Yeah.
but I've got about 1,500 videos on my channel.
Wow. I thought I had a lot. I think I have about 365. And
I mean, I could
I've been
double
on
check that,
YouTube a long time. But
I might be
1,500.
exaggerating. It might be slightly less, but it's somewhere in that ballpark. But of all of those videos, let's say it's 1,500 for argument's sake, I've had about 15, so 1-5 blocked.
Okay.
Which,
Now,
I mean, that's
what about
not bad.
copyright claims? Not a block, but just a claim.
A claim. So I would say, oh man, this is tough to think about. Maybe half of the reactions are blocked. Sorry, copyright claim.
Okay.
Maybe half.
Okay.
Um,
And do you just keep them up and just deal with it? Just
oh
move
yeah.
on? Okay. Okay.
I mean, I've had videos that there's a copyright claim, but the artist has commented on the video and said, "Hey, this is awesome. We love it." But it is a copyright claim, and that's okay with me. I mean, that's
Well, I had an experience recently that was comical to me. I had a copyright claim on music that I played drums on. So
wow.
I had to contact the songwriter who I know, obviously, and the record label, who obviously I know, and I had to get permission from them to put my music up of a video of me playing or whatever it was. And of course YouTube copyright claimed it, and then I disputed it.
Right. Yeah.
Because I'm the drummer and I have permission. Right. So that's another thing. Do you get into the disputing at all?
Well, I never did until I did. Steve, again, this is the Steve show with Tim and Andrew.
Yes. We secretly love him.
Oh
we
my
secretly
God.
love him.
It's disgusting man crush. He interviewed me about a month ago, and he dropped the bombshell on me that you're allowed to dispute. Now, I was always under the impression that a copyright claim or a block, that's what it is. And if you choose to dispute it, you're at risk of a copyright strike or potentially, people shutting down your channel or all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And no, he kind of set me straight and said, no, look, what you're doing is you're providing education and entertainment, and you've altered the source material. You're entitled to dispute it.
That's right.
I have disputed a lot of them. Yeah.
Okay. Well, my understanding is also from Steve that you can dispute it. However, after the dispute comes back with a resolution, whether they lift the claim, they keep the claim, or they go halves with you, which also happens. After that, the appeal process is the next step.
Yes.
If you appeal and you lose, that's where the risk of the strike comes in.
Right.
And or getting it removed, and you're getting into problems.
I think if anyone in our position appealed the decision, you would have to be out of your mind.
Well, like, for example, I would appeal. I would appeal on my own recordings.
Absolutely.
But like, I went through this with Tool, and 3 days, but they got 30 days to respond back to you. 3 days before, I thought, I'm clear. 3 more days, they're not gonna. I'm just a little guy. They're not gonna respond to me. Well, they did, and they kept the claim. Yeah. And so I thought about appealing, but Steve said, "Don't do it because it's too risky. Because if you lose, then you're screwed." So yeah, very interesting.
The other part of that, I feel like, I mean, you are using their content, and they've said no, it's it's our copyright. Which, I mean, to me, that's fine.
Well, I understand it is their their music essentially, because that's what we're mainly dealing with is music and stuff like that. But it is a very interesting topic to
a bit murky.
Get into. A little bit murky.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. So I'm going to sum this up with this question. What's the future of Andrew Rooney drums? Do you see yourself continuing along the same path? Is there other things? Like, before you answer that question, I noticed that you've got some merch. I got to get me some Andrew Rooney merch. Yes. So we're going to plug that a little bit. I'm wearing my Tim Connolly drum shirt.
Nice. That's great, man. Did you see my Christmas merch?
I did see it. Yep. And I love the way you were talking about it. It was so funny. Like, what are you going to get for Christmas this year? Andrew Rooney merch. I loved it. So I'm like, I showed it to my wife. Honestly, nothing against you or anybody. She doesn't care about drum videos. I'm a professional drummer. I played drums for 50 years. I've been married to this woman for so long. She could care less. All she cares about in the end, when it comes to drumming, is how much are you getting paid? You know?
Good for her.
Yeah. So anyways, tell us about your merch.
Yeah. So, well, it's not, I've done, I guess, 3 different styles of merch. This was the original, the drums and coffee mug, which went quite well because it's in every video. Then I got some different stuff designed, which you'll see if you go to my merch, which is a coffee drip. So it's a stick figure holding drumsticks with a drip, like you'd get in hospital, but it's coffee.
Right.
That was my idea for a design.
Mm-hmm.
And then recently, as you said, it came up in another live chat. I can't remember how this evolved, but I said something along the lines of, we need a "that's what she said," something along those lines for merch, because that's become, embarrassingly enough, that's become a new tagline for me, because it's the worst joke in the world. But anyway,
yes,
I'll roll with it. It wasn't funny the first time, and it wasn't funny the 100th time on my channel either. But
it's stuck somehow.
It's just so bad. It's good.
I've seen your son even say it in a video.
And he's 8. So I think it only works. It depends what came before it. That's what she said. But it depends what you said before it.
Yes. The timing is everything. Comedic genius is all about timing.
Yeah. So sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. But anyway, we had this idea. I had this idea for "That's What She Said" merch. And about, I don't know, 30 minutes after that live chat ended, one of my subscribers had emailed me a design with my head, a speech bubble saying "That's what she said," and a drum kit. And I used it. That's the merch.
That's awesome.
I love that kind of stuff, man. I love that. I love, being a bit of like a club where you either get it or you don't, and it's just fun. It's just it's awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome, Andrew. If I can say, I really I admire what you do on YouTube. You've motivated me, you've inspired me, you've empowered me. I'm sure that you've done this for lots of others, and you're one of those guys that you're a positive force in the world. And I just want to say, keep doing what you do, because it's beautiful, man. It really is. You're one of those guys that when I always talk about love on my channel, about drummers, love people, love performing. We love to show off. We love to teach. We love to check out this new bottom lick I just learned. We love that stuff. It's a drummer thing. You epitomize all of that. And I just wanted to let you know that, you're doing it not just for me, but for everybody that watches your videos.
Oh, that's that's just too much for me to even comprehend, man. But I must say, when I do get messages along the lines of what you just said, which is just incredible. I had people say, I was in a really tough time over lockdown and you helped me through. Had heaps of those. And I'm not blowing my own trumpet here. I mean,
no, that's just an honest statement. Yeah.
And you see the views and you see the subscribers and everything. It's mind blowing, man.
Yeah, it really is.
I don't see myself as I'm not special. I'm not the best drummer in Auckland. I'm not the best, I don't see things that way. But yeah, it's incredibly humbling, man. It's I will say I will give myself some credit in terms of teaching. As you said, like I'm a very empathetic teacher. I was not a natural on the drums. I had to work really hard, and I'm grateful now because it's made me a better teacher. So
Yeah.
I understand when a student cannot play a Mozambique and they're getting frustrated and they want to quit. I know what that's like.
Exactly. I
I've
feel
been
the
there, man.
exact, yeah, I've been there. I feel the exact same way. I can remember in music school getting screamed at by the teacher because
Mm,
I moved the metronome dial by 3 beats or something, or sorry, 3 BPM.
mm,
So I'm not a screamer or yeller at my students. I'm actually very loving.
no.
Who I studied with for years and years and years with Dom Famularo.
Oh, wow.
And Dom
Well, he
Famularo,
epitomizes this.
exactly. Dom
Yeah.
Famularo taught me so much with the way that he taught me and the way he teaches in general about sympathizing with your students and not getting angry at them and not, giving them a hard time because they can't get that bass drum without flamming on beat one with the hi-hat or whatever. Dom is such a wonderful human being. He's a loving man. I love that guy to death. And he influenced me so heavily to be that kind of a teacher with my students. And, you strike me as being a similar type of teacher.
I am. I had a lot of teachers coming up. I actually made a podcast episode about this. I think I had about 9 or 10 different teachers at different points. Some on percussion, some on kit, everything. And they were a total mix. A total mix. And I came to the realization after a long time of doing this and a long time of playing that you cannot get better if you're not playing. So
Absolutely, yeah.
my first job as a teacher is to make sure you keep playing. Now, if I go full whiplash on a student, which I can, I mean, I've been to jazz school. I can go through the gears and, if I need to.
Yeah.
But who responds to that? Who responds to that Navy SEAL type drum instruction? I mean, it looks great when you've got one student who did respond and they're a superstar, but you've completely burnt the other 99.
Yeah.
So, I mean, let's face it, not every drum student is going to be a professional drummer. And importantly, not every drum student wants to be a professional drummer. You can't project what you want it to do or maybe failed to do or what your expectations. You can't put that on someone else.
Yeah, I agree.
They might come in to see, Tim Connolly once a week and they're like, man, this is the best 30 minutes of my week. And maybe they're not good enough to be in a band or be a superstar.
But they're having fun.
Who cares?
Exactly. I'm with you there. You and I think very much alike.
If they love drums, and I've seen an amazing thing too, those long-term students who might struggle, but they've got the passion and they just turn up, they got their worksheets and they've done their practice. Man, they can really jump some of the superstar students.
Yeah.
Like for real, man. Like that can really happen. And then they start to get a few wins. And because they've developed this work ethic, they actually start to compound on those wins. And before you know it, they're playing in 5 different bands. And I've seen it.
Yeah.
And the superstars quit. He quit 2 years ago,
Yeah, sure.
So, I think it's all about staying in the game. And in terms of pro playing, if you stay in the game, that older generation, they start dropping off. If we're talking about gigs, a lot of people don't gig for their whole life. At some point they stop gigging.
Mhm.
Who are they going to give the gigs to? The guy or the girl that's ready and motivated and pushing, and it's just the way it works, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, Andrew, I'm going to sum this up here. Thank you so much for this. You know, it was an easy process to get this happening. I have to thank you. You know, I was watching you live. I messaged you. You responded to my message. I was like, yes.
Well, I should say, I do want to bring up that I was late to this interview, and you were incredibly gracious about that. But yeah, I'm normally really good with that stuff, and I'm real apology on that.
Apology accepted. All right, Andrew, I am going to let you go. And as I say to all my anyone that watches my videos, I always say this, and this sums up, I think, our interview, and that is, keep drumming.
Keep chopping wood.
See ya.